Have you ever stopped to consider why women with such a luminous presence and unwavering inner strength often attract people with such manipulative and draining behaviors? Carl Jung teaches us that the narcissist doesn't seek what is weak, but rather the vitality and light that he himself cannot produce in his own psyche. He is attracted to what shines, acting like a shadow that tries to feed on the substance of those who possess a deep connection with the self. There is a mystique in this attraction. Your spiritual strength is precisely what makes you a valuable target for those who live on appearances. Understanding these hidden signs is the first step to transforming this vulnerability into an armor of awareness and definitive liberation now. Your light has never been the problem, but rather the lack of filters to protect your inner sanctuary from invaders. The first hidden sign of a spiritually strong woman is her innate ability to see the golden potential in other people, even when they are in shadows. Jung called this positive projection, where you deposit in the other the beauty and integrity that actually reside in your own generous heart. The narcissist perceives this characteristic and uses it to create a false mirror, returning to you an idealized image that keeps you trapped in a cycle of hope. You believe that with love and patience you can help that soul find the path to healing, ignoring the initial warning signs. This generosity of spirit is a gift, but without clarity it becomes the gateway to a draining and oppressive relationship. Maturity requires you to learn to see the person's current reality and not just what they could become. Deep empathy, characteristic of women with advanced spiritual awakening, is the second sign that attracts toxic patterns of control and manipulation. You feel the world's pain and have a sincere desire to alleviate the suffering of others, which places you in the position of an emotional caregiver by nature. For Carl Jung, the caregiver archetype is powerful, but when it is not in balance, it attracts individuals seeking an emotional womb for their frustrations. The narcissist presents themselves as someone misunderstood or hurt, triggering your instinct to nurture and establish an immediate emotional dependency connection. This silent force of unconditional love is your greatest virtue. But it needs to be guarded by boundaries that protect your psychic integrity above all else. Learning to differentiate compassion from complicity with the mistakes of others is the secret to maintaining your high vibration and peace. The third sign is your unwavering resilience, that ability to rise from the ashes and find meaning even during periods of greatest pressure and inner pain. Spiritually strong women don't give up easily, and the narcissist sees in this persistence an inexhaustible source of supply for their emotional control games. They know you will try to fix the relationship, that you will seek new ways of dialogue, and that you will give countless chances before admitting defeat. For analytical psychology, this strength can become a trap if it is used to sustain situations that no longer serve your growth. Awakening occurs when you redirect this resilience towards your own reconstruction, stopping investing energy in arid and infertile ground. Your ability to withstand storms should serve to lead you to your purpose, not to keep you trapped in a toxic experience. If you feel this knowledge is illuminating the dark corners of your story and bringing the clarity needed for a fresh start, sign up now. Here, we use the wisdom of Carl Jung to transform your pain into an inner authority that no one else can silence or try to control. By signing up, you strengthen this network of consciousness and gain access to reflections that protect your soul and raise your vibration. Your rebirth is our greatest mission, and each video posted is a firm step towards your total and well-deserved emotional liberation. Click the sign up button and join this journey of inner transformation where your peace and self-respect are priorities. Together we are stronger in the pursuit of dignity and the awakening of a full life, full of light and new possibilities. A fourth hidden sign is your radical honesty and belief that everyone operates under the same code of ethics and truth that you possess. Women with a strong spiritual inclination tend to be transparent, believing that truth always sets free, and that honest communication can resolve any emotional conflict. The narcissist, however, uses your sincerity against you, mapping your vulnerabilities to use them as tools of manipulation at strategic moments. Jung explained that the human shadow contains elements that prefer concealment and the game of mirrors to avoid real responsibility for their actions. Your light of truth is blinding to those who live behind masks, and the attempt to extinguish your brilliance is a form of defense of the immature ego. Spiritual maturity teaches you to be selective with whom you share the pearls of your intimacy and your thoughts. The fifth sign lies in your connection to the sacred feminine, which emanates an extremely magnetic and powerful energy of creation and nurturing. You possess a seemingly inexhaustible vitality, attracting people who are in a state of emotional hunger and who seek validation through your light. For Jung, the narcissist is often someone who has not integrated their own soul, seeking externally the anima they lack to feel complete. They try to appropriate your creativity, your social brilliance, and your inner strength to fill the void that inhabits their own center. This invasion of boundaries happens subtly, through excessive praise that hides the desire for fusion and total control over your life. Your reconstruction requires you to learn to dedicate your energy only to those who know how to honor the beauty and dignity of your being. We've reached the sixth sign, your belief in rebirth and continuous transformation, which leads you to believe that anyone can change if given the right opportunity. As a spiritual seeker, you know that the human soul is capable of great turning points, and you use this philosophy to justify remaining in destructive cycles. The narcissist takes advantage of your faith in others' change, promising improvements that never materialize in the day-to-day reality of the relationship. Carl Jung warned that transformation requires an honest confrontation with one's own shadow, something that emotionally immature people avoid at all costs. Your spiritual optimism is a creative force, but it must first be applied to your own life and your dreams of freedom and peace. Recognizing that some cycle endings are, in fact, divine deliverances is the pinnacle of your wisdom and your sacred self-respect. Often, your silent strength is interpreted by the manipulator as a challenge to be overcome and a will to be broken. They don't just want your company, they desire the submission of that force they so admire, but which makes them feel inferior and exposed. The spiritual meaning of this struggle is the test of your ability to set boundaries and say no, a decision that echoes throughout eternity. By repositioning yourself, you regain authority over your psyche, understanding that your light is sacred territory where only respect can dwell. The law of energetic reversal acts when you shift your focus from the other person and place it entirely on your own healing and growth. You discover that the greatest victory is not changing the other person, but becoming unreachable by any pattern of emotional manipulation and control. In this moment of deep reflection on your journey, I ask you, can you see how your kindness was used to maintain cycles that didn't belong to you? How do you feel when you realize that your light was never the problem, but rather the lack of a protective barrier for your heart? Share your feelings in the comments, because your experience may be the missing key for another woman to understand her own value and strength. Your voice is fundamental to building this space of mutual healing and collective awakening against patterns of emotional manipulation and pain. Let's talk about how liberating it is to accept that our energy is too precious to be wasted on those who don't know how to honor life. Your participation strengthens the collective energy of reconstruction and peace that we are cultivating together here every day. Rebuilding a spiritually strong woman requires her to learn to integrate the warrior archetype with her nurturing and gentle side. Carl Jung believed that wholeness is only achieved when we unite the opposites within ourselves, balancing compassion with sharp and necessary discernment. You are learning that being spiritual does not mean being passive in the face of boundaries being crossed or a lack of empathy from others. True spiritual strength manifests in the courage to end cycles that harm your peace and attempt to extinguish your consciousness and brilliance. The universe repositions you in a place of sovereignty when you decide that your self-respect is the non-negotiable foundation of your new life. Every boundary you set today is a brick in the construction of a fortress of dignity that no one can tear down or invade. The narcissistic pattern becomes destabilized when it encounters a woman who no longer seeks external validation and who knows the depth of her own true worth. When you stop explaining your reasons and begin to act with clarity, you wrest control from the hands of those who thrive on emotional manipulation. The law of energetic reversal ensures that all the energy you invested in the other person returns to you in the form of wisdom and maturity. You discover that the desert of solitude was, in fact, the soil where your true identity could finally flourish without external interference. Spiritual repositioning puts you in contact with people who vibrate at the same frequency of integrity and mutual respect that you now emanate. Your reconstruction is a rite of passage that transforms you from a caretaker of shadows into a master of your own light and destiny. Analytical psychology teaches us that the self always seeks balance, and that the pain of the toxic experience was the urgent call for its awakening. You are no longer the person who entered that relationship. You are now a much more powerful, conscious version, equipped with soul filters. Emotional maturity has allowed you to see manipulation as a pattern of immaturity in others, and not as a personal flaw in your character. You have learned to forgive your own naivete, understanding that it was merely a reflection of the purity that dwells in your spiritual and divine essence. Today, you walk with dignity, knowing that your peace is the result of difficult but extremely liberating and sacred choices. The universe celebrates your turning point, opening doors of abundance that were previously blocked by the fog of doubt and insecurity. Faced with a new life unfolding before you, can you feel the relief of no longer having to carry the burden of another person's shadows? How do you imagine your future will be, now that your inner compass is calibrated by self-respect and full self-awareness? Write in the comments your plans for reconstruction and how you intend to use your strength to create a reality full of peace. Your participation is an act of power that inspires other women to also seek their liberation and their spiritual and emotional rebirth. Let's build a dialogue of hope and practical solutions so that healing is the foundation of all our days from now on. Your story of overcoming is the beacon that guides other souls out of the labyrinth of manipulation and into the truth. To continue strengthening your reconstruction and ensure your high vibration remains protected, don't forget to subscribe to the channel right now. Your presence here is vital to keeping alive the flame of knowledge that liberates and transforms pain into an unwavering inner authority. By subscribing, you declare to the universe that your commitment to your own evolution is definitive and that your peace is a priority. Each video is an invitation to your continuous awakening and to maintaining the boundaries that guarantee your dignity and self-worth. Click the subscribe button and activate notifications so we can walk together towards wholeness and the joy of living in the light. We are united in this purpose of healing, reconstruction, and awakening the sacred feminine in all its immutable power and glory. The spiritual significance of having gone through a toxic experience is the initiation into the art of discerning spirits and intentions with absolute and cutting clarity. You no longer deal with life superficially, but delve into the depths of the human soul with the wisdom of one who knows the shadows. Carl Jung stated that the conscious individual becomes an agent of transformation for the world around them simply by existing in their truth. Your healing is not an isolated event, but a wave of light that reaches your ancestral lineage and the generations that will come after you. You have broken chains of submission and fear, establishing a new standard of dignity for your female lineage and for your destiny. The final phase of your reconstruction is the celebration of the sovereign woman you have become, free from shackles and mistress of your own light. Feel the peace that dwells in your heart at this moment and recognize that the worst is over, leaving behind only the lessons that have made you invincible. The manipulator loses power the instant you stop fearing them and begin to see them with the neutrality of someone who understands their immaturity. The universe is now preparing the ground for you to receive abundance that corresponds to your new frequency of self-respect and full awareness. There is no more rush for tomorrow, for you have learned that the present is the only place where life happens with truth and real purpose. Your journey is sacred, your wounds have been transmuted into pearls of wisdom, and your future is an open field of peace. You have won the battle against self-forgetfulness and now live in the constant memory of your infinite and divine value. Looking towards the horizon of your new existence, realize that solitude was the fertile ground where the seed of your true self could finally sprout. You no longer need anything external to feel complete, for you have discovered that the source of all joy lies in the encounter with yourself. Spiritual repositioning is a gift that life gives to those who have had the courage to choose truth, whatever the social cost. You are free to create, to love healthily, and to prosper in all areas that your heart desires to manifest now. The law of energetic reversal ensures that your brilliance only increases, while the shadows of the past recede before your unwavering inner authority. The closing of this cycle is the beginning of your golden age, marked by clarity, liberation, and genuine happiness. May Jung's wisdom continue to be the compass guiding your thoughts away from manipulation and closer to your purest essence. You are a spiritually strong woman, and now that strength is allied with the consciousness that protects and guides you with every firm step. Do not allow anyone to try to erase what you have taken so much time and effort to rebuild with the hands of your soul and heart. Your dignity is your greatest treasure, and protecting it is your sacred duty to the life that now pulsates vibrantly in your chest. Move forward with the certainty that the universe supports you, loves you, and repositions you for the best that life has to offer. You are whole, you are sovereign, and your journey of light is only beginning to reveal its true and infinite beauty. The transformation is complete at its foundations, and now you can decorate your new life with the colors of joy, leisure, and healthy love. The toxic experience is in the past, like a teacher who fulfilled his role and no longer has authority over your days and nights. Your reconstruction is a beacon, illuminating not only your path, but also that of all those who are still seeking a way out of the emotional labyrinth. Live with enthusiasm, cultivate gratitude, and don't forget that you are the only one who holds the key that opens the doors to your bright future. Spiritual awakening has given you wings, and now it's time to fly high towards your purpose and the peace that surpasses all understanding. You are a victorious light, and your rebirth is proof that life always finds a path to truth.